Welcome back to the channel. It's Josh Harum, a cinematographer based in St. Louis, Missouri. And this week I am going to be talking about some new lenses. I got an opportunity to collaborate with Laowa and talked with them about sending me out some lenses to test out. And we got two lenses, super interesting wide angle lenses that are coming out 2025. And here's a piece that we shot on them.
Ever feel like you can't get into that creative flow state? Distractions keep popping up left and right. The to-do list, the hobbies, anything to distract from the work that needs to get done.
The 9mm is actually the world's widest lens ever. It covers full frame and VistaVision. It's got a T5.8. The other lens is an updated version of the 12mm 2.8 that everyone loves to get those kind of creative, interesting shots. Everything was shot on this FX3. Let's dive into this and look at the lenses a little bit closer. This actually is the widest Cine rectilinear lens in the world, which I'm guessing means like very little distortion, not like a fisheye. As you can see, they are very tiny. Most people know how big this is, and you can see the size of these little lenses and just in comparison. The other interesting thing about them is the flange distance. And when they sent them out to me, they were like, hey, you're gonna have to try them on a bunch of different cameras because as you can see, the flange distance is almost as long as the lens. Maybe it even is. What you can do is, if you have like a E to PL mount, or right now we're shooting on my Blackmagic Pixis, both have these filter trays for NDs, and we just took those out, put the lens on, and it didn't butt up against the sensor. But if you had the filter in, you couldn't get the lens on. The issues that caused us was that we no longer had infinity focus. So everything you saw in that piece had to be shot at a reasonably close focus. So far, we've tested it on the FX3 and the Pixis, and both of those with the adapters, we had to take the filter out. What we found as the best use scenario for these lenses was really like if you need to mount your camera onto an object as it's moving, or the snorri cam, or this could be fun for like a car rig. Basically, being so small, being so light, they say that they're 500 to 600 grams. So extremely light, extremely small. You can put these in a lot of different spots, as you saw in the piece. Build quality is really solid. Metal housing, you got metal caps and plastic PL caps. I think these lenses have a really cool look, not just because they're wide, but I do think like for a quality standpoint, I think they use really solid glass. Like the images look good. They don't look deteriorated by like cheaper glass. And then I would say that the flares on these lenses are not great. I wouldn't say that would be a positive. Kind of just has these big veiling, fogging flares rather than any kind of shapes or designs created by flaring. So I don't think you're really choosing these Laowa lenses for the flares. You're choosing them for what they can do to tell your story. If you want to feel super immersed, but also have a kind of a strange, bizarre, surreal feeling to the universe, I think these are great lenses to do that with. I can give some examples like The Revenant, Bardo, False Chronicles of Handfuls of Truths, and even The Shining used like, I think it was like a 8mm or 6mm on 35mm film. There's many reasons why you would want to use an extremely wide angle lens. One other little note about the 9mm that we found was if you're doing longer focus throws, pretty much like from infinity to the 5 inches, that is the minimum of the 9mm, it's really interesting, like the edges of the image like distort and kind of go in and out, almost like when you're zooming on a lens that's not parfocal, like how the edges just move, but in a much more extreme way. So that was a quick look at the Laowa 9mm 5.8 and 12mm 2.8. If you decide to pick one of these up and you're watching this video, leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I don't get to keep these lenses. I have to send them back to Laowa, but I want to give a big shout out to Laowa for sponsoring this video and hopefully future collaborations with those guys. And till next time, peace.